Sermon 3, by Allah, the son of Abu Quafa, known as the Sermon of Ash-Shikshakiyya. Beware! By Allah, the son of Abu Quafa dressed himself with it, and he certainly knew that my position in relation to it was the same as the position of the axis in relation to the hand mill. The flood water flows down from me, and the bird cannot fly up to me. I put a curtain against the caliphate and kept myself detached from it. Then I began to think whether I should assault or endure calmly the blinding darkness of tribulations wherein the grown-up are made feeble, and the young grow old, and the true believer acts under strain till he meets Allah, on his death. I found that endurance thereon was wiser. So I adopted patience, although there was pricking in the eye and suffocation, of mortification, in the throat. I watched the plundering of my inheritance till the first one went his way but handed over the caliphate to Ibn al-Khattab after himself. Then he quoted Al-Aisha's verse. My days are now passed on the camel's back, in difficulty, while there were days, of ease, when I enjoyed the company of Jaber's brother Hayyan. It is strange that during his lifetime he wished to be released from the caliphate, but he confirmed it for the other one after his death. No doubt these two shared its udders strictly among themselves. This one put the caliphate in a tough enclosure where the utterance was haughty and the touch was rough. Mistakes were plenty and so were the excuses therefore. One in contact with it was like the rider of an unruly camel. If he pulled up its rein, the very nostril would be slit, but if he let it loose, he would be thrown. Consequently, by Allah, people got involved in recklessness, wickedness, unsteadiness, and deviation. Nevertheless, I remained patient despite the length of period and stiffness of trial, till when he went his way, of death, he put the matter in a group and regarded me to be one of them. But good heavens! What had I to do with this consultation? Where was any doubt about me with regard to the first of them that I was now considered akin to these ones? But I remained low when they were low and flew high when they flew high. One of them turned against me because of his hatred, and the other got inclined the other way due to his in-law relationship in this thing and that thing, till the third man of these people stood up with heaving breasts between his dung and fodder. With him, his children of his grandfather also stood up, swallowing up Allah's wealth like a camel devouring the foliage of spring, till his rope broke down, his actions finished him, and his gluttony brought him down prostrate. At that moment, nothing took me by surprise but the crowd of people rushing to me. It advanced towards me from every side like the mane of a hyena, so much so that Hassan and Hussein were getting crushed and both the ends of my shoulder garment were torn. They collected around me like a herd of sheep and goats. When I took up the reins of government, one party broke away and another turned disobedient, while the rest began acting wrongfully as if they had not heard the word of Allah saying, that abode in the hereafter, we assign it for those who intend not to exalt themselves in the earth, nor to make mischief therein, and the end is best for the pious ones. Quran 28:83. Yes, by Allah, they had heard it and understood it, but the world appeared glittering in their eyes, and its embellishments seduced them. Behold, by him who split the grain, to grow, and created living beings, if people had not come to me and supporters had not exhausted the argument and if there had been no pledge of Allah with the learned to the effect that they should not acquiesce in the gluttony of the oppressor and the hunger of the oppressed, I would have cast the rope of caliphate on its own shoulders and would have given the last one the same treatment as the first one. then you would have seen that in my view this world of yours is no better than the sneezing of a goat. It is said that when Amir al-Mu'minin reached here in his sermon, a man of Iraq stood up and handed him over a writing. Amir al-Mu'minin began looking at it, when Ibn Abbas said, "O Amir al-Mu'minin, I wish you resumed your sermon from where you broke it." Thereupon he replied, "O Ibn Abbas, it was like the foam of a camel which gushed out but subsided." Ibn Abbas says that he never grieved over any utterance as he did over this one because Amir al-Mu'minin could not finish it as he wished to. Al-Sharif al-Radi says, "The words in this sermon like the rider of a camel mean to convey that when a camel rider is stiff and drawing up the rein, then in this scuffle the nostril gets bruised, but if he lets it loose in spite of the camel's unruliness, it would throw him somewhere and would get out of control." Ashnak and Naka is used when the rider holds up the rein and raises the camel's head upwards. In the same sense, the word Shanaka and Naka is used. Ibn as-Sikhat has mentioned this in Isla al-Mantiq. Amir al-Mu'minin has said Ashnakalaha instead of Ashnaka. This is because he has used this word in harmony with Aslisalaha, and harmony could be retained only by using both in the same form. Thus, Amir al-Mu'minin has used Ashnakalaha as though in place of in Rafa'alaha Arasaha, that is, if he stops it by holding up the reins.